Hey guys, I'm here on a deck profile known as Photons. They'll be coming out in March with some new support, so I just want to show you guys an early deck profile of how they'll work. And yeah, so let's get this started. So we'll start off with 2 Galaxy Knights. He's a really good card, but not that good. I mean, what I'm trying to say is though, you can drop him if you control Photon or a Galaxy monster, which I'll get to Galaxies in a minute. And what he does is you can normal summon him without tributing, and when you do, you can target one Galaxy Photon Dragon in your graveyard if possible. So if you don't have a Galaxy Eyes, that's fine. He'll still be that 2800 attack point beater, and he'll be a good beat stick in the deck. 2 Galaxy Wizard. Galaxy Wizard is also a good card for the Photon support because he can increase his level up to 8, which can make him into an instant rank 8 XYZ for most of the monsters running in this deck, and then you could tribute him to add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand, which you can add Galaxy Eyes, you can add Galaxy Knight, and that's pretty much it what I run in this deck. Or, I'm sorry, not a Galaxy monster, but Galaxy cards. So I'll get to the other Galaxy cards in a moment. And of course, your simple 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, where you can make him a 3000 beater, or you just use the effect when he battles XYZ, and as well become an XZ material for rank 8 XZs. For staples, you got your 1 Honest, because of course you have a bunch of lights in the deck, so it's just really going to help out. Orbital 7. People have been wondering why Orbital 7 they think he's not a good card. But he's pretty cool to run in the deck. I only run one, and I still test him out, and I like to set him a lot, and not only that, he's exactly like Galaxy Wizard, but instead of getting Galaxy monsters from the deck, he gets Photon or Galaxy monsters from the graveyard. So it's a little bit of a recycle for this guy. I run 2 Cesar. 2 Cesars is just simple enough to run. I mean, if you get out like 2 monsters, you can normal summon Cesar, get out another Cesar to go into another big rank 8 XZ, which is really cool. Photon Satellite. Photon Satellite is a pretty good card for this deck. I can see it being run in a lot of Photon decks, and they'll be using this card a lot. Which then it won't probably get hit on the ban list, but certain cards that'll get him out faster probably will. Any Photon deck would probably run this along with Heroes. Just 3 Thrasher. Playing out 3 Thrasher because you can go Thrasher, Satellite, rank 5. If you don't, but if you don't know what Satellite is, you can combine levels with any targeted Photon monster that you control. So that's pretty good, actually. You target your Galaxy Eyes, you go into an instant rank 9. If you target your Thrasher, you go into a big rank 5 XZ. For stopping special summons to happen, and since they're light, I run 2 Thunder King Ryo. And as you can see, he's going to get hit on the ban list very soon, like in another month. I don't know why they would just semi him if they say he's a threat to the game, and I see that in everybody's opinion where they say, why did you just semi Thunder King, and when it's not that big of a threat to be semied, when most people think they should have been limited. For staples, you of course got your Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn. So moving on to the other good cards. As well as MST. We run 2 Galaxy Expedition. Galaxy Expedition I could see being run a lot in other decks too. I was thinking that Heretics would probably abuse this card since they were starting to use Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in the Heretic deck a little bit more. But it doesn't really matter. 3 Galaxy Zero. The reason why I don't run 3 Expeditions and 3 Galaxy Zeros, well, pardon me, but I mean I run 3 Galaxy Zeros and then 2 Galaxy Expeditions. The reason why I run 3 Zeros then 3 Expeditions because I get my Photon monsters or my Galaxy monsters in the graveyard a lot, so this card really helps them get them out and sometimes defends myself. An old Collector's Tin card, 2 Photon Sanctuary. Sanctuary is just those cards I just need just to whip out the 2 level 4 monsters I need, or 2000 beaters, and distribute them to get the Galaxy Eyes out to be special summoning, do a lot more of my normal summons. And now we're going to get on to the part where people probably will not run this part of the deck, or because it's just not really that good, I guess. I run 2 Polymerization for the fusion of Twin Photon Lizard, where I can go into a lot of heavy XZ. I'll get to that part in a minute. Of course, to trade in. Trade in is a really pretty staple card since you're running a lot of level 8s in the deck, and then you draw 2 cards. Beckoning Light. Beckoning Light, I'm still thinking of running maybe 1 or 2. Right now I'm testing at 2 because people have been storming and then MSTing me, so that's why I run 2. And it's a pretty cool card to recycle for my hand. So like if I have a bunch of like Sanctuaries, for example, or my Bottomless left in my hand and I don't really want to use it, I could just use Beckoning Light to drop my hand and grab most of the light monsters I want back. For trap, like getting rid of my opponent's monsters, I run Bottomless Trap Hole and 2 Torrentials. And now we're going to get onto a trap card in the main deck that most people hardly see, and they ask me why I run 1. I run 1 Safe Zone. As you can see, it's a little bit pricey, but I'm going to try and get one, and I'll get to the reason why I only run 1 Safe Zone. So of course we run there 2 Twin Photon Lizard. Photon Lizard is just a pretty cool card. He's like a defusion for your monsters, and it just really helps. I mean, you can go Poly, Photon Dragon, or Photon Caesar, or Photon Satellite and Photon Dragon, and you tribute your lizard and you get your Satellite or Caesar and Galaxy Eyes back, and you go to some pretty cool like Zinging. For rank 5s, I run 1 Audrius, 1 Tyras, and 1 Constellar Pleiades. I'm pretty sure you guys both know what Audrius and Tyras do, and I'll tell you why I run Constellar Pleiades. He is like the Brio for lights right now. You detach material during either player's turn, and you bounce back a card, which is pretty cool. And that's why I run him. Alright, let's get on to the rank 8 Xyz. Let's go to the 1 rank 9 I use. I use 1 Dyson Sphere. Dyson Sphere, he's a pretty good card to run only while you're in battle. So let's say your opponent has a Blackluster Soldier out. This guy can detach a material and attack directly, which is a lot of damage to your opponent. And if this guy has no materials and is being attacked, he gets 2 materials back to him and can negate the attack. So this guy has a loop of its own. Okay, now let's go to the rank 8s. I run 1 number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Gimmick Puppet of Strings, I'll tell you why. Well, most people will run it, but the reason why I run it is because I was battling my friend's Crystal Beast deck the other day, and he had 5 Crystal Beast deck monsters. Not Crystal Beast deck, but Crystal Beast monsters out at once. And so what I did was I X'd for Gimmick Puppet, and I detached and put a counter on every one of his monsters. Which by then, if you have another opponent that has a situation like this, he'll have to go into some instant Xing, or as well use most of his monsters just to waste out his extra deck. Which then you know what he's going to try and do. So that's why you can have your set Bottomless or set Torrentials ready to go. I only run 1 Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. Most people wondered I run 2 right now in my real deck, but the reason why I only run 1 on Dueling Network is I'll show you in a minute. But he's a cool card. You can just tribute monsters from your hand or field and destroy as many cards as you want in the field. I don't know why they say minimum is 1 when you know if you just want to tribute 1, just pop the card. Of course, I run 1 Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and I hardly summon him, and most people go take him out. He's not that good of a monster. Most decks don't really run him. I run him because I like this deck to be fun, and I want to show people that this guy is really useful. Alright, I'm going to go on to the OCG part of the deck, of the extra deck. And I run 2 number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tankion Dragon. And what Tankion Dragon is going to do is going to help a lot of decks. And what I mean by a lot of decks, I only mean Dark Worlds. And what he does is he can negate any monster effects on the field during the battle phase. And if any card effects activate, he becomes a 4,000 beater and attacks again. So it's a pretty good card. Oh, and so let's say your opponent runs Fire Fist, for example, and he has all those Fire Formation cards out. If you get out Tankion Dragon on the field and you detach material, their effects are negated. Not only that, their Fire Formation cards are going to not help them out. They're going to deplete the attack points down to their original. So let's say your opponent has, like, for example, Fire Fist Bear, and he has like let's say maybe 2,000. So he has like 4 fire formation cards out in the field. With Tachyon Dragon, you can detach the material and make it back down to 1,600 and attack it. And I'm pretty sure Fire Formation Bear has an effect if he was destroyed by battle or something like that. He gets a card effect to activate in the graveyard. So with Galaxy Ice Tachyon Dragon, if that effect activates in the graveyard, you're able to attack again. So yeah, that guy is going to be a really big monster out in the Dueling World once it hits TCG. So let's get on to rank 4s. I run Constellar Omega. Constellar Omega is a cool. I liked him when I first saw him. And I didn't want to use any staple XZs like most people say, oh, Utopia's staple. No, he's not. The reason why I run Constellar Omega is I detach a material and he's unaffected by spells and traps. And not only himself, as well as face-up Constellar monsters. So if I have Pleiades and Omega out, that's a pretty good combination on the field. I run 2 Photo Knight Palladius, and soon to be renamed later in the TCG. And what Palladius does is a pretty close effect to Tachyon Dragon, but he only does it to one monster at a time, and he loses both of his materials. And he's sort of like the Card Trooper effect, where if he's destroyed by anything, you draw that card. And then I run 1 Photon Papilloperative. And the reason why I run Photon Papilloperative is if by chance I use Galaxy Expedition during one of my turns, and I have Photon Papilloperative out, I can use Photon Papilloperative effect to switch one of my Galaxy Ice Photon Dragons into attack mode. Though he become 2,400 attack points, I can attack into my opponent's monster and just banish my Galaxy Ice and his monster to come back later, and then Photon Dragon will be refreshed to 3,000. And that's what I like about this guy. He's pretty cool. So yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you guys like it. As you can see, I do not run side deck. I hate side decking. It's just a waste of time. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks.